And we are back with the Vacuous perspective. And I'm Val, joined always by Nate. And I was thinking to myself, what the hell is 52? Which is the episode we're up to. What the hell is that? Does that mean anything?
We've done a lot of the numbers before. I didn't recall 52 being anything important. What do you think?
Well, pending this...
Look, it's certainly not 42. All right, that's all I'm saying. Like, it's not the...
I'll tell you what it is.
Yeah, okay.
52 is how many weeks there are in a year, which means...
Bang.
This is a year. 1 year. This is the 1 year part. So I was thinking 52 means nothing. That's nothing. That's a nothing number. But 52.1429 is a very important number because that is how many weeks, and thus happy birthday in a way. Happy birthday
You
to the podcast.
Yeah,
And we'll take that.
That's fantastic.
I didn't even think about it until right then. So we're just glad to get that out, the 52 thing. Glad to get it out.
So we're in the same position around the sun as we were when we started.
Roughly.
Very
roughly.
Well, we did start on a Tuesday night, if I recall correctly.
I don't think that matters too much because that's where the 1.149 bit comes in. Like, you don't really know what the fuck the next one is. It could be a Saturday, could be a Wednesday. Don't know. But no, I think the official birth date of the pod is around when the channel was created, which is either the 19th or the 20th of April. Now, that's when we started sort of getting the recordings going. The release schedule up until recently was pretty, I don't know, aloof. Lately it's been much more sort of current, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I did have a wedding in there that kind of really disrupted things.
Yeah. Well, you were gone for a week or so, but hey.
3 weeks.
Yeah, but only because of the stacking of the episodes. I remember I only had to fill like a week or two.
Yes.
It was amazing. Worked out beautifully.
Okay, it's a bit. I don't know how I missed 52, but yeah, it's a big one.
And we're all caught up then, because we're current, we're up to date. And the very latest thing, is the Mark McGowan stepped down as Premier of WA today. So a lot of people are getting excited about that. A lot of people are upset about that because they like him, and some people hate him.
He was beloved by many, wasn't he?
Very high number of the population were into him and what he did during the pandemic.
In his peak, he was like a rock star.
Yeah, he was doing very well. Like, it was because they smashed that election. So they smashed that election so bad.
He won in a landslide in his first. In 2017, he won in a landslide. Then he had an extraordinary landslide. I think it was 53 of the 59 seats in the lower house.
It's completely...
53 of 59. Have you heard of that? That is absurd, isn't it?
No, I never heard of that in my life.
That's at the point when you start worrying about the government. There's no checks and balances anymore.
Right. That was the argument that was being put up, was that, hey, if you don't have a legitimate opposition, then, hey, we've got a problem.
I suppose that's what the upper house is for. I don't know what was going on there. I don't really follow state politics. I don't know.
Not many people do, until, obviously, the pandemic, because he was on the telly every day. I saw the little thing pop up in the bottom right-hand corner of ABC News, which said live Perth for a press conference with Mark McGowan. And I was like, we're going back into lockdown. Because it was the same shot. It was the same framing. He had his little thing there with the flags in the background. I was like, I've seen this before. But no, he was actually stepping down.
It was weird to tune in every day and listen to
the update.
The update from our leader.
2 people, possible 3 others. We don't know. We're a bit worried about those 3. That was the update, and everyone was glued to it.
Yeah, he was a big deal. He was the biggest of swinging dicks at the moment, making all the decisions, making some big executive decisions.
Yeah, emergency powers, all that kind of fun stuff. And it wasn't just him, but it was every state premier. Every state premier was on the telly every day to tell you what's going on, and everybody, you copped a lot. It was just a news dump at that point. Everyone was just hearing everything, knowing everything as much as they can.
Yeah, he would tell us if there was one COVID case where that particular person had been, what they'd been up to, who their friends were.
Yep. Anyone who looked at him, gone.
Well, we built that huge COVID facility that just got completed. We talked about it maybe, I don't know, 6 months ago now.
And now it's no longer an emergency.
What do you do with it? Yeah, they should have had a plan
B. Yeah, they save it for next 100 years. You know, they built it to last 120 years. The next pandemic, they'll have it ready to rock, I guess. They'll just have to keep it running.
Well, he was described as remember how we were being described as a hermit kingdom when McGowan introduced those really strict border policies.
Correct. And this is the big reason why people didn't like him, is because of the extended periods and people couldn't come back home and stuff. There was problems, right?
Yeah, there were. If you want to go somewhere, it was a problem. If you just want to stay in WA, it was an absolute paradise.
Yeah, that was the concept, right?
I mean, we must have had some of the fewest lockdowns of anywhere that had lockdowns anyway. We only had a couple.
We did. No,
couple of short ones.
We did. We're very lucky. But there's a concept that, hey, we're taking care of people. It's about health. It's about safety. This is unprecedented. There was that. Definitely. And there was, hey, everybody, stay home so that we can get through this quicker and then we can go back to regular life. That was the idea, right? I think it was more about keeping the minds open because they make the most money. If we don't have the money, we can't do all the fun stuff that we need to do, right? So I think that was like priority almost one. That's what it feels like to me now looking back.
That's what I thought. That's what I was thinking. But priority not only for WA, that's for Australia as well.
I know.
Huge industry.
Yeah, but the other states were not happy with the border arrangements with WA. They were pretty upset with it. They weren't seeing that big picture. They were going, "Hey, Mark, what are you doing? Come on, sort it out." So look, that's what I was trying to say, is that there's the reasons that people didn't like him. There's reasons people that like him. And the people who like him, I don't know if they know that it was all about the mining dollar he does.
I'm kind of okay with it in a lot of ways.
I get it. Yeah. But that was never said. No one ever said that. That never got said. Those words never got said. We'd know if a case came up in a mine site. They would go, "Oh God, we've got a case in a mine site. Holy shit."
I think those mining bigwigs were kind of talking to Mark, and they were like, "You got to shut the borders. Like, keep it out. Keep us operating."
Yeah.
Sure, there was a lot of that. But his character arc has followed Jacinta Ardern's.
I've had a gutful.
He's had a gutful. He's citing exhaustion.
Fair. Wouldn't you?
That is fair.
Don't you think so? If you went through 2017, he went into office. That's 6 years. 2 of arguably the hardest years. You're on telly every day. All that sort of
absolutely.
Jam. Absolutely. You're done. You're cooked. You're fucked.
And I don't think he wanted to be a dictator. You know, people accuse him of joke about him being a bit of a.
I think every state poly at that point had to, in some ways, have that sort of image, because they were literally telling us to stay inside and do nothing. The health advice was play video games. It was a fucking topsy-turvy world. It didn't make any sense.
It didn't, did it?
No.
Don't worry about vitamin D. Don't worry about any of that.
No, you can go out, but just one person can walk the dog. That was the idea. And you got to wear a mask, obviously.
Yeah, I wonder, because I thought he was still okay. That when I say his character arc was a bit like Jacinta's, in that they started around the same time. I think they both had 2 terms.
A lot of popularity.
She cited a lot of popularity when they were doing the lockdowns. Strange, because obviously there was some pretty huge opposition, but early days, very popular.
Right? It was solidarity.
Very popular because they then. There was like this turn. But the difference with Mark and Jacinta is the WA economy has been absolutely booming post-COVID. $2.2 billion surplus this year. That's I think that's a...
They must have been preparing for something pretty gnarly if there's 2.2 bill kicking around.
4.2.
That was right. Yeah,
that's apparently rivaling the federal budget surplus. So we have had a great year, and we've had great years during the COVID years, particularly relative to the other states.
Whereas, I guess on that point from before with the mining thing, if you can be globally competitive because, hey, we're the only mine sites operating right now, hey, let's fucking then I guess it makes sense that we've been having big years, having a few big years.
So we're in a good position financially, whereas New Zealand's economy has never recovered from all the lockdowns. So she went hard on the lockdowns, hard on the borders. Everyone was cheering at the time. And then afterwards, she's had to take a backward step and say, oh, no, we can open up now. We can deal with COVID. And they're all saying, hey, that's what we were saying. But now we've lost all the business and you've destroyed all these,
sure,
I don't want to say lives, but people are upset about it.
Yeah, sure.
Because you have to, you put on these, you have these really strong policies, and then you have to come back and say, oh, no, we're just, open slather now. It's all right.
I think that the popularity of the hard decisions were taken very well early by everybody. Everybody was very happy with the harsh decisions that were being made. When I say everybody, I mean a lot of people. Laugh. It's okay.
He actually really liked the lockdown. Yeah, it's all right.
He would have loved it.
Retired, yeah.
No, but I think the longer it dragged on, especially for the people in the eastern states, the longer it dragged on, the more that the sort of, oh yeah, we're doing the right thing, turned into, we've had a gutful. You know what I mean? Had a gutful. And so it turned already. It's starting to turn already where I've had a gutful, I hate this, end it now. Then they end it and you're like, yeah, fucking about time. Instead of, yeah, cheers. It's like, yeah, fuck, all right, let's go.
One thing you did that's often forgotten about is he really put Rockingham on the map.
Yeah, okay. Member for Rockingham.
Do you remember him like cracking up at one of the press conferences where he was saying that there was someone saying, oh, I can't go for a run and get a kebab? And they were complaining about the lockdowns or something.
Yeah, he was the most popular man in the world because he said something like, you can go for a run and get a kebab. And everyone's like, yes.
All he said is, we're not making it illegal to go for a run and get a kebab.
Yeah, it's not unlawful. Great. There you go.
If that's what you want to do, I mean, maybe that's what he wants to do. He just wants to go for a run and kick. But now he's free to do it. He doesn't have to worry about all this political bullshit.
Yeah, he's done.
Well, I'm thinking about retiring as well. I mean, if Mark can do it, I've had a gutful. I'm exhausted. I've had to go through these COVID years.
Yep. I've had a gutful too, man.
Yeah, I think we should all retire. Well, it's not just Mark as well. What about the AFL coaches? Alistair Clarkson, indefinite leave of absence.
Wasn't that ages ago?
No, that was only last week. That was this week since I last spoke to you. Indefinite leave of absence whilst that Hawthorn racism probes.
Are they still sorting that out? It's unbelievable.
It's been 8 months that's been dragging on. They can't figure it out if they're racist or not.
Right.
Can't figure. The probe's just useless.
No.
Impotent probe, that one.
Right.
Nothing's happening. So the stress apparently is too much. It's taking a physical and mental toll on him.
That makes sense. Got to take a bounce.
Got to take a bounce, yeah. And then Damien Hardwick resigned out of nowhere.
Huge.
Also,
crazy.
Huge, citing burnout as well.
How? Burnout, yeah, fucking had a gutful.
He suffers it was a 1 point loss in that Dreamtime game.
Yeah, no, had a gutful.
Then that's it. Pulls the plug.
No. I don't think it was that, but definitely a gutful.
No, it wasn't that. But don't you find it interesting if they had won, he wasn't going to resign because no
coach. Is that
coach.
True?
Well, no. If a coach has a 1 point win, no coach has come out and gone, "Geez, no, this is too much for me."
Of course they can.
Yeah, but they don't. They resign after losses.
So are you saying there's never been a coach who's resigned after a win? I would say it's pretty rare, if ever it would happen. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I don't think they have.
But he had a gutful well before then.
This is the straw that broke the camel's back.
No, how the gutful works is he probably had the gutful 3 months ago. He had the gutful then. And then every day he's just going in going, I've had a gutful. And it's that same thing with Jacinda Ardern and the Gow, where if they always cite that if they can't give their 100%, then they shouldn't be in the game. And I agree with that. And you agree with that.
I agree with that.
Which reminds me of something,
because there's a lot of people that want to do the job.
Yeah.
I didn't know you could just give up like that. We elect this guy, right? We're like, man, we want you. We want you. And then he gets to a certain point and he's like, nah.
Gutful.
Had belly full. Yeah, I get it. You've had a belly full. I've had a belly full. I can't quit.
You're right, though. If you were voted in as the next premier and they say, right, great, you're in, the next election is 2026, right? That's when the next election's up, all right? That's like a 3-year contract, isn't it? You've signed on for 3 years. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you go a year and a half in, you go, I had a gutful. That's great. But no, he could have had a gutful. And if you can't give it 100%, you know, you're not in the right place, and it's not going to get better. And it reminds me of something. We can come back to the AFL if you still have things about Hardwick and whatnot, but
not really.
Not really. I was watching a thing. I think it was Joe Biden hanging out with Jay Leno. Jay Leno's a big car guy. He's got a car show where he has all these old cars and he brings on guests. It's like comedians in cars getting coffee.
Yeah.
But it's Jay Leno in a car.
Just driving around, no coffee.
He's also a comedian, but I was going to do a little drive-by on it today. No, what's the point? Jay Leno hangs out with famous people in his cool cars with a cool car collection, right? And his guest that week was Joe Biden. And what I found interesting is that it was brought up in there that he was actually one of the youngest. I think he was the youngest senator ever elected.
That doesn't surprise me. His political career has been obscene. It's like 60 years or something.
Exactly. I think what he's done is he's actually bookended it. He's set the record because you have to be 30 and over to become a senator of the United States, right? 30 and over. I think the law goes, LORE, the Joseph Biden law, I think it goes, he was elected, but he couldn't start until after his 30th birthday. Now he had to wait. I don't know. Maybe
the rules.
Yeah, the rules
require you to be over 30. Okay, all right.
So I think he was either elected or he was in the process of being elected or on campaign or whatever, and he had his 30th birthday during that time, and there was a big sort of yay, now you're eligible kind of thing. Great, right? And they interviewed him about that, and he said, "Look, I'm not going to agree with everybody all the time. I'm going to have disagreements. And one of my disagreements would be about the age, the age thing. Why do they have to be over 30? So he was like, so if there was a vote that came up that was to lower that age, I would vote for that, right? Now he's the oldest president in United States history. Okay. Does that seem a bit odd to you? The guy who wanted the age lowered is now the oldest one ever.
Yeah, they almost need to put a rule in place for that, don't they?
Well, to sort of set a max age. Is that what you're saying?
Max age, maybe.
Who better to do it?
Well, I've realised that there is an argument that Biden is the GOAT of US politics.
Yeah, he's done everything. He was the youngest senator.
What I'm saying is if he gets his second term,
right,
there is an argument that he is the GOAT. Because firstly, you can't have more than 2 terms, right?
Yeah, so that's max. Yep.
He went from he came straight out of college.
Yep.
He got drafted before he was even eligible to play with the big boys, right?
Yep. So has the longest career. Yep.
And then he'll be not only the first oldest president of the United States, if he gets reelected, he'll break his own world record.
Which can't be broken, almost. Not in the future that I see.
And
that record can't be broken.
And he took down Trump, and he might take down Trump again.
Double takedown.
Holy
moly.
Huge.
That would be huge. Yeah.
I'm not saying he's had the best career, but he's had the most accolades, arguably. What can't the man do? I mean, he hasn't started a war. I reckon that's probably one thing that he needs to add to his. If he went head to head with China, I'd say that that's absolutely he's done it all as a president. Not saying he should.
No. Usher in a new world peace would be great.
Oh, that would be, is that really achievable?
Yeah, probably. Superman did it in that bad movie. He decided, fuck yes, I'm taking all your guns and your nukes and I'm throwing them at the sun or whatever. So that's something like that.
John Howard? wouldn't have changed
John Howard flying the
gun
guns into the
laws.
sun.
Yeah.
Similar story, except
Similar
Superman
story.
was more about sort of this. People were scared about nuclear weapons at the time.
Oh, so not just guns in Australia.
No. No, nukes do way more damage. It was big back then.
I mean, John Howard had a great career. Speaking of goats of Australian politics, I don't really know anything about Australian politics, but I mean, he had a good run.
They always seem nicer when they're out of office than when they were in office.
He looked hilarious as well.
Yeah, a bit of a caricature, right?
Yeah,
looked like a cartoon character.
Bit of a Monopoly Man thing going on.
Something else. Just he was animated in such a way.
He was little.
Yeah, and he couldn't bowl for shit. But good on him. Go on.
We were talking about big swinging dicks before with Mark McGowan. Have you heard about this mega solar project in the Northern Territory?
Yes, I have. So the concept is that you build a solar array and then you ship the power via underwater cable to Singapore. Is that right?
Yeah, because you were talking to me about this, weren't you?
Yeah, a while back.
It's a crazy. I mean, I don't know what the surface area of land they're planning on covering up there, but there's this artist's impression.
Yes,
and it goes on forever. Just seeing if there's anything.
Why wouldn't you scale it up? Right, you have to scale.
Yeah, you have to scale it up. They want to export 20 gigawatts of power to Singapore, which will be 15% of its energy needs.
Whoa.
So this guy, apparently they have business
partners. What's the route from Northern Territory to Singapore, roughly? What's the route?
4,200 kilometres of transmission line underwater. That's what they're planning on doing.
Yeah. But do they have to go around anything? Or
yeah, they go around islands, and it's all wiggly. You can check out the line, the transmission line that's proposed. So this guy, there was business partners. The two that were into this were Andrew Forrest and this other billionaire. This is when I'm talking about the swingings.
Cannon Brooks, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Mike Cannon Brooks, yeah.
And they had different views on this, where Andrew Forrest wanted to use it to power mines, basically for green steel and green hydrogen projects, things like that.
Yep.
Whereas Cannon Brooks wanted to export power to Singapore.
Yep.
And so they had their contest, they were swinging away, and Cannon Brooks has
outswung.
Yeah,
I did hear about that. Yeah. So what's the timeline on this? How long are they going to do that for? Looks like a big project.
It's a project big enough to be seen from space, so yeah, it's pretty big.
Jesus. So how many years till it's on Google Earth? Because that's when I'll check it out.
Well, I mean, surely there's a bit of a lag on a project that big. I don't know.
10 years, 12 years, something like that. I don't know. Maybe they just start running the cable. Maybe they just start running it.
It says here it's a $30 billion plan. So
yeah, that's all right.
That's a bit of coin, isn't it?
That is.
And that's only 15% of Singapore's energy needs.
15, isn't it? Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
It's pretty cool. I like the idea.
They don't have they don't have much area to work with. They can't put down a solar farm like that.
No.
But we can. So they'll go, we'll have some of Australia. We'll have a chunk of Australia just for our solar power. Thanks.
Seems a bit weird though. I was watching this documentary program a few years ago and they were talking about Singapore wanting to be the first self-sustaining city in the world, in the sense they wanted to do vertical agriculture. So they wanted to grow everything for their population there. The idea, I mean, this flies in the face of that. If you're going to be importing power.
I mean, it is green power. It's not like they're importing coal power or anything.
Yeah, true.
So at least they're going green with it. We'll see how it goes. Love to be able to see that from space. That's pretty gnarly. Like you'd get an idea of how much space you need of solar arrays to power X million people, right?
Yeah.
Because you could start divvying up the whole like outback almost, being like, oh yeah, so we can power like fucking 12% of the world here.
Well, all you need to do, right, is you develop a robot,
right,
that that lays, so it has a conveyor belt that just feeds it materials, even just a 3D printer, and that on wheels, right? This 3D printer on wheels is cruising about the outback, and there's a robot that follows it along that does the manual labor. The printer prints, say, a transmission line, some solar cells, and the robot grabs these things, lays it out at like a unit of solar cell, goes on to the next one, and their job is just to continually lay solar cells in a and connect it to the grid or whatever
in a grid formation,
and it just keeps going, going. Why stop? I mean, don't worry about the environment or runoff or anything like that, and we'll solve that later.
Yeah. No, it seems like a good way to do it. I don't know if you've seen on YouTube. Have you ever seen those videos where they do trick shots? Have you seen these trick shot ones?
Yeah.
Big during the pandemic too, because people were stuck in their living rooms throwing cards at fucking pegs on the line and shit. Do you remember these videos? Yeah. Well, they've I think they're the Dude Perfect guys, big YouTubers. They've set another world record for the highest basketball shot. They've done it again.
And there's been some high ones, so they've done it again. Wow.
Yeah, they've thrown it off this fucking building in the middle of Vegas.
Okay.
This big, tall tower, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, 800 feet. Fuck, I don't know.
That sounds about right. That sounds about right, because that would be, about 300 meters. Yeah, it could be. I mean,
they're
there's
up
big
high.
buildings. Yeah.
They're up high. It's down on top of this other building, the hoop, and they're ditching the ball, and the wind is so crazy on the first day that it's just flying out into the street and shit. It's nearly hitting cars and people. And they were quite concerned. They were going, "Oh no, we shouldn't be doing this. Stop this. Like, this is dumb. We're going to hit someone. I'm not going to wait till it goes wrong before we then make the decision to stop doing it." So I think they put day 1 in the can. Day 2, they had another crack, bit less wind. They were trying, blah, blah, blah. Day 3.
Yeah, I see it. 856 feet.
856 feet. Yep, right. So they end up getting the shot with an hour to spare, where they were just ditching balls for, I don't know, collectively maybe 9 or 10 hours, and then just throwing a ball.
How do they get permission to do this? Where do they get the balls?
It looks dangerous. Yeah. Some of the basketballs, like one of them nearly lands on an old man. All right.
It's a 17-minute video.
Yeah, because they've got very good production. They're covering all of it. It's the journey of them getting the shot at the end. It could be an 8-second video, but
is one of them Dude Perfect himself, or who is Dude Perfect?
Collectively are Dude Perfect.
Right. Okay. If you take all their best attributes, they are the perfect
I think,
dude.
And I think they form up into some sort of Voltron thing if you say the magic words and you got the right ring. But this is where it gets weird.
The Power Rangers setup. Is that who's Voltron? Sorry, who's Voltron?
I have no idea. I'm pretty new. I don't really know these guys.
Oh, I was thinking, the Power Rangers thing where they all get their robot thing comes down and then they join together into the super robot.
Yeah.
A Dude Perfect thing, yeah.
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 They said, right, at the end, there's a guy on their team who I don't think shoots any of the balls. Maybe he just hangs out or holds a camera or something. He gave this big inspiring speech about how, no, we're going to do this, and yes, we're the best, and blah, 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 all this sort of rubbish.
What, they're exhausted from just throwing the ball?
Well, they just thought they weren't going to get it.
Yeah,
they were scared they weren't going to get it. And he said, no, we're definitely going to get it, and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, throws the ball, gets it. And they said that the chance of that going in was so low that God had to have had something to do with it.
Oh, please.
And no. And it was funny because they dropped that right at the sort of 16-minute mark of the 17-minute video. And I'm like, whoa, stop for a sec. And then he expanded on that and he said, it seems like God has more in stock, like in store for Dude Perfect. He's got more planned for us. God has more planned for us.
Oh, no. What's the plan?
And I just thought,
shit.
Well, what's no, God wants them to get really rich? What, God wants them to get an even higher basketball shot in? Is this the sort of thing that he's sort of thinking about or looking out for? Yeah, I don't know. I found that very strange.
Why would God give a shit about this ball going in the hoop from these assholes?
It's true. No,
why?
No.
How does he?
He wouldn't.
That's the most self-centered thing I've ever heard. Like, no. Like, God has something special planned for me.
Yeah,
for us.
For you guys to be super rich, and that's the plan. It's a great plan.
Ridiculous.
It's a great plan. No, he's got more planned for them. So this isn't it, is what they're saying. They've got more.
Shit, what's planned?
Planned? That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
Does he go into the plan at all?
No. Who knows God's plan, dude?
I just saw the shot. Oh, boy, he's pretty excited.
Yeah, they're pretty pumped. And I would be too. After 17 hours of trying to hit it. Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting the replay. They're tracking the ball. They're tracking the ball. It's got a little circle around it. Oh, here we go. Here it goes in. It went in the hole. Went in the hoop.
It did.
That's a 3-pointer.
That is 3 points. So I wanted to bring that up because I found that pretty funny. Sort of reminded me of like UFC fighters when, you know, you've got like a Brazilian UFC fighter fighting another Brazilian fighter in the early 2000s. And both of them in the pre-fight, in the preamble, are going, oh man, with God on my side, I'm going to destroy this guy. He's got no chance. And the other guy goes, you know, there's only one God, and you know, I'm gonna wreck him, and all this sort of stuff. And it's like, you can't be on both your sides. He can't want both of you to win. What does he want, to draw? What does he want, you to knock each other out? What's the outcome? It's just the plan that, you know, when things go good, that's the plan. When things go bad, that's the plan.
That's it. You're assuming that there's one God. They could have more of a pagan approach, and they all have their own God. So they're like,
well, there could be many gods. There could be.
There could be
shitloads of them.
Yeah, could be. Man, they're all celebrating like they're celebrating like they've won a lot of money. So I guess they are. But there's something
they kind of do, right? The video goes up, does really well. They crush it. It does sort of enrich them. And the 9-second shot is boring, right? If someone just went, oh, watch this.
It is, yeah.
So they do the whole lead up, and, you know, that's their jam. That's what they do now. They're a production company. But no, I thought you'd dig that.
Maybe we need some production expertise. Does God have a plan for us?
Or some trick shots. Yeah, he must. We just don't know what it is. And like I said, if things go good, that's the plan. And if things don't go well, that's the plan. So you can't really...
So we can blame it on God if...
Well, you can't blame it on him, because then his plan's going to be, you know, just...
Why even try if it's all... Well, I mean, if it's all up to God, if he had a plan for them, they didn't have to throw the ball into the hoop at all, because he would just execute the plan in another way.
That's what they would have said.
God would make sure
if the hour and a half passed, and they didn't land the shot, and old mate had to get on his flight, right? That was the plan. It makes them hungrier, makes them go bigger, go gnarlier, go smaller. I don't know what the fuck. Maybe we should do some trick shots though, because that seems to be where it's at. Do a trick shot. You got any trick shots you can do with Have you got a dance? If you do a dance, I'll animate a trick shot.
Okay, wait, hold on. All right. Yeah,
just do a wave, and I'll make you throw something into the bin or something. Yeah. I don't know if... Yeah, that'll do. Yeah.
Wait.
Oh, Jesus.
No.
I love the spin.
I didn't put my arms up in the air.
The spin's so good. Yeah, give us a wave if you can.
Oh, yeah, maybe just a wave. Yeah, give
us a wave.
Okay. Yeah, and then you can... One of those ones should be able to...
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, okay.
Easy. Hey, there's been some pretty crazy AI shit going on.
Oh, every week there's more and more things. Yeah, what's going on? What have you noticed? Because I'm watching them.
There's this new Photoshop AI that's fucking mental.
Yeah?
Yeah. So you select an area. You could do it from a blank canvas, right? Highlight the top, write sky. Nice sky. Bang, it generates it. Then you highlight where the landscape would be, and you'd be like, give me a landscape.
Yeah.
And it goes bang. And then you can highlight a little area and be like, give me a river there. Bang. And then you give put a tree stump here, bang, put a bird on it, bang. It's fucking incredible.
Oh, so you can choose your own adventure, yeah.
Yeah. I guess it's like a new way to composite things. But it's a way, so people have got their wedding photos and they've got an old mate in the background being a douche canoe or something, or an old lady. There was an old lady behind the married couple, and it must have been a really good photo, but she's like, fucking this old bag's in the background. All they did was highlight it, go delete person or something, and it figures out, oh yeah, that's a door behind her, so I'll do the door. And it's amazing. It's actually incredible. This kind of technology has existed for a while in Photoshop, where you got like clone stamps and stuff where you can go grab that and put it here and do all sorts of like weird, warping effects and transforming to get that sort of thing. But this is just highlight the area, write what you want to be there or not be there, and it's just bang. It's insane, man. It's insanely powerful.
That is pretty weird. They're already having trouble with AI art. They don't know how to regulate it, because they're infringing copyright in the sense that if you take two images or whatever the AI uses to, what we got to remember is the AI is just
scrubbing,
regurgitating, inputs that other people have, presumably humans have made.
Yeah, sure.
Just regurgitating it in a different form. But the art seems to have a bit more of an artistic value, whereas ChatGPT is just literally advanced plagiarism.
Yeah. And information.
Whereas I feel like the AI art, it just looks arty. I don't really know how many images it's drawing on or how it does it.
Well, there's all sorts of different engines you can pick from. I'm talking about Stable Diffusion. There's a whole bunch of different engines you can pick which give you different vibes or feels or whatever. Certain things work better for certain things. So if you found an AI image on the internet on a website where it's people talking about the tools that they use and stuff, they'll have the image there. It's a big polar bear on the moon. He's got the stars in the background and there's, I don't know, three suns or whatever, right? And he goes, oh, by the way, I use this Q, this setting, this scale, this was my, X meter. There's all these dumb settings in there. And if you want something that looks like that, you have to sort of like, copy those settings a bit, I'll have some of that,
Yeah.
So there is a bit of sort of work that goes into it, but it's amazing. It's pretty powerful. There's more
something,
as well.
There's something every week with AI. Yeah, what else have you got?
There's more. There's ones that they do a voice clone. So we talked about it in the past of automating the show where we wouldn't even need to sit down. We'd either pop a script in and the AI versions of our voices could read them out and it would sound dreadful, I reckon, but funny. And that's a thing now. And you don't need a lot. I think my friend of mine only fed it a few voice lines of this character and it turned it into a pretty legit text-to-speech machine. And we could do the same thing. We don't need to give it 57 hours of content, which we do have. We could just give it 10 minutes or something and see how it goes. I'd be interested in trying that for a segment.
Yeah, definitely. So that
exists.
I've
got coming up. Yeah, that exists. That we can try that. We can absolutely try that.
They've used AI to discover new antibiotics that kill superbugs, the ones that are invulnerable to antibiotics that we have right now.
Oh, they're using AI. Okay, great.
Yeah, narrowed down thousands of apparently. I don't know how they do it, but they
crunch the numbers a bit.
They just crunch the numbers,
Yeah. It's amazing. It's part of what will be the next sort of Googling. When Googling first started, people were going, oh my God, this is scary. People can just search for things. Yes. It is scary because the internet's a scary place. But
it's unbelievable though. Like with the antibiotics, we haven't discovered new antibiotics in a long time. They're really hard. Like we've gotten to a certain point and we're like, these are our antibiotics. These are our weapons against bacteria, and that's it. And this thing comes along. They had to train it somehow.
Yeah, but how do they do that? I mean, they sort of had a hunch then because they were...
Yeah.
I mean, at what point do we just plug an AI into the world's most powerful computer and go, yo, fix all the shit, and then it goes I will kill you all, that sort of Terminator thing. When are we going to do that? Where we're just, hey, start fixing all the problems, man. Enter, right? There's all your data. It's figuring out antibiotics that we haven't never seen before, right? So let's start handing over. All right, I'm putting my hands up.
Yeah, well, at some point,
putting my hands up. Look,
at some point, we will give birth to the electronic butterfly, and that will be it. We are the biological cocoon.
Oh my God! Imagine that.
It's pretty cool to be a part of it.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is.
Like, I'm not really actively helping this electronic butterfly.
No.
But I'm using the material. You know what I am? Because I am a consumer.
Mm-hmm. 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 You're funding it.
I'm funding it.
Yeah, which is the most important thing.
I need the next phone. I need the next TV. I need an upgraded computer.
You do need an upgraded computer. The rest of the stuff can wait. Because gaming's going crazy too, man.
Is it?
Surely.
Surely. I do not doubt it. I don't doubt it. I'm not there on the front line fighting that battle, but I believe you.
I don't think I am that much either anymore. I'm not on the cutting edge anymore. I think back to my childhood, and you know how you have those bookcases and stuff with some people had books on them. We had video games, and it wasn't a bookshelf. It was just the shelf that sits under your TV unit. And it was fucking stacked with just all sorts of old fucking Xbox and Xbox 360 games.
Still got probably 70 of them. Video games, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. And it reminds me of my biggest regret, one of my biggest regrets.
Oh, no. Don't think about it. What is it?
So
let's go into it.
Well, I have a bunch of those Xbox 360 games. I couldn't tell you where the Xbox games are. They're gone. But I have a bunch of those Xbox 360 games. And before we had the Xbox 360, we had the Xbox. And before we had the Xbox, we had the Sony PlayStation. And before the Sony PlayStation, we had a Sega Master System 2 with Alex the Kid built in, baby. It's one of the only consoles that I've ever heard of or that I owned that had a game in it already. You just turn it on.
What a good idea.
You just turn it on and boom, you're playing a game. And if you wanted to play a different game, you put a different cartridge in. Yeah, cartridges, right? So you had your Lemmings, you had your Action Fighter, you had your, there were probably other ones. And we, meaning my brother and I, took our Sega Master System and the games down to cash converters. And these games had our names on them. Had me and my brother's names on the covers because we, wanted to make sure that everyone knew
it's your game.
Who it belonged to.
Who got it at Christmas, yeah.
Yeah, we would have got it and got so excited about it and write your name on everything.
You put your name on it so you can tell him, it's my go. It's my go. It's my game.
No, both our names are on it.
Oh. Co-ownership.
Co-ownership.
Jeez, controversial.
Equal partners. And we sold it to cash converters. We sold the console for $2.
What?
We sold the games for $1 each.
Oh, my God. You got robbed.
Robbed, bro.
This is highway robbery.
And the amount of times that I thought in the last sort of 10 or 15 years, man, it'd be nice to be able to just plug the Sega Master System in and have a crack. And we robbed ourselves of that. My older brother and I, we robbed ourselves of that for cheap gains. I think we went in thinking we're selling this. We didn't even care what they were going to offer. We were just going to sell it. And they offered us fucking nothing.
So you got like $30 or something for your whole collection.
It would have been like 18, $16. And I remember I felt shit instantly about that. But I think we had the PlayStation, so we just thought we would never play it again. We were just kids thinking, we'll never play this again. This thing is a piece of shit.
It probably would have broken down, though. Like, you wouldn't be able to play it now, would you?
Doubt it. It would still be rocking.
I reckon
it's still going. I reckon it's still going.
Wow.
Nah, it's still going.
You could probably buy one from Cashie's bill. Cost you $600 now.
Yeah. No, maybe $200.
Vintage.
Yeah, you go down there, it's got your fucking name on it. Fucking God.
You were talking about a few weeks ago the idea of a robot following you around in your house and maybe even killing you.
Well, I thought they were there to take care of you.
Well, they're supposed to be, but eventually they take care of you to the point that they put you out of your misery.
Oh, you mean take care of you? Oh, jeez, right.
This has become a reality, not the murder part, but the robot following you around. There's these personalized companion robots that help you find things that you lose.
That sounds like a job for like a little sound device or something that you clip onto your phone and then clip onto your keys. Not a robot.
No, that's too hard. No, we need robots.
I've lost my keys again.
Robots.
Where's the robot? And it comes in and goes, I'm here to get your keys. It's my favourite thing to do. I only do this and watches.
Yeah, mate, what else does he find? Anything. So it's using an object detecting algorithm. They program the robot to detect, track, and keep a memory log of specific objects.
Yes.
In its camera view through stored video.
Great. So it can remember where you dropped it.
Yeah, it will remember. It will sort of take note of where you put things.
Yep.
So it just follows you around. I think it's like a dog or something. You know, they kind of just follow you around. Well, it has to record it with video, or maybe you install video cameras in your house, every room.
Yeah.
And all that data gets fed in to some central. Now, apparently, it's a robot that will, record the date and time. Certain objects are like left places, or maybe it just walks around your house when you're sleeping.
That's what I was thinking. You just continue on with your life, and the robot sort of walks around and goes, right, his wallet's there. Great. Keeps going. Oh, there's his keys. Great. Got his keys.
The wallet's gone.
And then,
oh my God, the wallet's gone.
He'll go, the wallet's gone. So he'll go into wallet find mode. And that's when he'll access the internal camera security system. Yeah, it's bad. I don't like it.
Well, the good thing about it is we can get as lazy as we want soon, can't we?
Yes.
We can literally take our brains out and leave them on the counter.
That's what it's going to feel like.
Just forget about it.
Yeah.
Can you imagine just like being at home? Like I have this real regimented routine. Like I come in and I put the keys in the key drawer, and like my wallet on the spot it always goes, and like my phone generally just in my pocket. Yeah, I have places for things.
You got a system. That's envious.
Love hates it. And then, but soon it's going to be like my kids, for example, will just walk inside. They'll just throw their wallet in the toilet. Phone out the window, and the robots will be running around going wallet detected.
Yeah.
Or you won't even have wallets anymore. We don't even have wallets almost now, right?
That's the thing. That's what I was going to say, is that they goes, right, have you got the robot installed? He's installed. He's ready to go. The dog one, the one that detects wallets and stuff. Yeah. I'm ready to turn him on. Right, turn him on. Good news, everybody. On the news comes on. Good news, everybody. You don't need a wallet anymore. Right, that's one thing I don't need anymore, right? Chuck that away. We already had our keys taken off us because all the cars are automated now. What do I actually need on me? Nothing. Great. It's all bio done. Right, okay. So you're not going to need your wallet. You're not going to need your keys. The robot's going to come before at the wrong time.
Yeah, you'll get the wallet finding robot. The wallet will be gone. The phone will just be implanted directly into your face.
Yeah, exactly.
What I do like about this, though, is it's monetizing dementia.
No,
it's really tapping that disability funding.
Well, that's where I'd like to see the dog bot become a robot, where it's a something with something in it, an AI in it that can converse, actually do useful shit. But instead of finding your wallet, go and make a cup of coffee, go and pay my bills or whatever. Important things. And to keep someone who's in that kind of condition engaged with anything would be a good thing.
Do you reckon that when say I make it to 80, and I've got this little robot that does lots of things around the house, it gets updates, it probably gets in the mail things. Probably robots would be delivering the mail for sure. Okay, so
they're not delivering the mail. It would receive the mail and go, hey, I got some mail for you. And then it chucks the hologram up on your wall, or whatever the fuck it is, Yeah,
it will be like that. So this robot will get a drone will deliver a robot, an upgraded robot. My old one will get taken away by the drone. There'll be a new one. It will now have scalpel, syringe,
Why?
No, for home surgeries, right? So I don't have to go into hospital anymore.
No,
I just go, I've got to...
Why did they need to drone you a new robot for this?
No, well, they will just drone me new robots every 5 years or something. Because the technology...
On the day, and it's just walks in and starts sharpening its scalpels. What a terrifying encounter.
Robot 1.0 didn't have scalpels and needles and things. Didn't have the tech, right? Didn't have the software, which that could be downloaded, but it needed the hardware. Yeah.
Walks in, you ready for your surgery?
Open heart surgery by robots at home. Do you think it's going to happen to me?
Hopefully not. Hopefully you'll die of something else. You know, you won't be open heart or something. Maybe, I don't know, some other way. What's best case?
There's a chance though, isn't there? Could there just be a robot just being like, get in the bathtub, I got this? Like, imagine something happens, you're having a heart attack.
And it's like, there's no time to get you to the hospital. I know what I'm doing.
And the robot goes, mate, I've done this 100 times.
In my brain.
Well, it's because it's a one consciousness. It's talking about all the people around the world.
Only 100 times.
Yeah, but it can tell you the success rate then and there.
What's the success rate? 60%. Great. That you'll die. Right. Not great. Okay. No, but by that point, right, you just got a teleporter in your house. You call the doctor up. He just zips through the teleporter.
No. Teleportation is 1,000+ years away.
Nah, you can't put a number like that on
No, we're talking open heart surgery in the bathtub by robots. That's like our lifetime.
That's going to
don't bring this bullshit stuff.
That's going to seem so medieval to the people watching in 2222. They're going to be like, man, home. Oh, that'd be rough.
What's that?
Go on.
Yeah, you know that George Orwell book, 1983 or whatever it is.
84.
84, written in the 40s or 30s or somewhere around there. That. So it portrayed this thing in the future about screens and control and sort of Mark McGowan type figures controlling you through
mass surveillance. Spies,
yes.
The whole lot. Department of Information.
I'm pretty sure God had a plan for me to write the book 2084. All right.
Yeah.
And it's going to be
predictions.
Robots.
Nostradamus.
No, it's going to be home surgery robots.
Yep. In the bathtub.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think what else they might be able to do. It's a bit unusual, but I think I know we've done the robot thing a lot, but we haven't done a lot of personal robots like around the house. What iRobot had that sort of flavor?
Yes. That one with Robin Williams, Bicentennial Man, doesn't he like get in with the family and the family like, this guy's great. He's fucking cool.
I haven't seen that one.
He's got a brain. He's got a soul. And all that sort of stuff. We've been tackling these issues for a long time.
We are going to replace ourselves, aren't we? We are definitely.
Well, that's what you were alluding to before when you were saying like it's crazy to be a part of this. It is crazy to be in some way. We're going to be boring an artificial intelligence or robot that will replace us or that will outlive us.
But at what point does the robot that's about to perform open heart surgery on me when I'm 80, when I've only got maybe a good couple of years left at that point anyway, what point does it decide that its best use of energy is doing something else like laying some more solar cells in a solar array rather than looking after this fucking drongo who's probably abused his body most of his life?
I don't think it's going to jump on a bus to the Pilbara or anything like that and start building a solar farm.
Maybe it will.
But I think that it will be in touch with you consciously.
Direct connection.
Yeah, so it's going heart failure detected, coming at you, get in the bath, and you sort of say, "Oh no, I don't want to get in the bath." Or if you're in a state where you can't even respond, you could say to the robot, "Hey, don't put me in the bath. I'm not interested."
I wonder if I
go and build solar cells. Go live your life. Go find love.
Give Singapore some more energy.
Yeah. Make the state budget bigger. It's my dying wish.
Hey, did you hear about the earthquake in Melbourne last night?
Yeah, it's something like a 3.8.
That's what I heard.
On the Richter, which was the most powerful earthquake in, I think, since 1920.
What, in Australia?
In Melbourne?
In Melbourne?
Maybe?
I thought 3.8 sounds like a little bitch earthquake when you're comparing. I only hear about the biggest and the best earthquakes.
That's what I mean. Given that that is the biggest in 100-something years, and it's small, like it's just a little tremor on the grand scale of things, and no one really got injured or anything, right?
Well, I don't think anyone got injured, but I spoke to a guy that lived in the suburb of the epicenter this morning.
Well, there you go.
He said there was a bang. There was a boom.
A boom?
Before the house started shaking.
Wow.
And he's from New Zealand. He says
where earthquakes are a thing.
Where earthquakes are born. That's just like on a Tuesday they have a 3.8.
Yeah, okay.
He said he has been in earthquakes, but he's never heard a boom.
Well, he was never sitting under it.
No, that's what I thought. I was like, maybe earthquakes do have a bit of a boom at the epicenter. Like, what is going on at the epicenter of an earthquake, right?
Well, a big grind on. That's what's going on. A massive tectonic continental fucking grind on.
Big slip or something's going on.
Oh, it sounds scary when you think about what's actually going on in there.
Well, he thought his gas main had blown.
Right.
Neighbours thought an airplane had crashed.
Right. That would be scary.
Someone else thought a bomb went off.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair too.
I was a bit rocked because, I saw a headline this morning just in my day's state about a 3.8 in Melbourne, and I was like, well, that's just a nothing earthquake. I could tell nothing. It didn't say anything, but I could tell no one was injured or anything because they would have mentioned that. So I was like, I was surprised. I was surprised there was an earthquake in Australia at all.
Yeah.
But then hearing that guy say that his house was actually
Sonic boom.
Really shaking, like the stuff on the walls.
Yep.
And the boom, I was like, that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
That's interesting.
Dogs were barking. Laughing at thinks there's an earthquake right now. There could be a 0.1 going on now and we just don't know about it.
Yeah, this could be the regular grind though. This could be what we're always doing. Well, earthquakes out at sea, they're probably a bit worse. So that's a thing. Hey, Elon Musk, he was tunneling under LA, right, with his boring project.
Yep.
He was also on that Jay Leno show. And they drove a Cybertruck through the tunnel, through one of his tunnels.
Cool. And so does Jay Leno own a Cybertruck or did Elon bring his own?
Yeah, no, sort of. I think Jay Leno is more about the brum brum cars, more not the cars.
And
you know what I'm saying?
Just very quickly, what car was Biden in? Like a 1920s
T model
Ford?
No, I think it was his car because it was a very spunky Chevrolet or something. I don't know, some nice car,
American muscle car,
American car from the 60s. So he took him around Starbase and showed him around, and then they drove through one of the boring tunnels, I think. Oh, no, that was a separate episode. But in that, Elon goes into the plan for what his plan is for sort of Mars.
Okay.
And I didn't know much about it. Well, I did, but not the logistics of it because he starts going into the numbers.
Great.
Because Jay Leno's like, how many of these fucking Starship things do you want to build? And he says, well, if you want 100,000 people on Mars and each Starship can take 100 people, you need 1,000 Starships.
Fucking hell. Shit.
So 1,000 Starships. They were talking crazy numbers like how fast they can come off the assembly line. Or we can do one every couple of days. We can do one
once they scale
days.
It up.
Yeah, once they sort of perfect everything's done on site. It's this crazy thing that he's built out there.
Mm.
And 100,000 people on Mars is the sort of starting point he feels. And it was quite funny. They made this analogy.
How many? 100,000?
100,000 people is 100 people on 1,000 starships.
Yeah, but I mean, I didn't think you need 100,000, but don't you just need enough people to party? Like you need a good rave. I reckon if you had 200 people. You need to have
more than the cast of Alien. So you need more than like 9. You need more than that because 9, shit's just going to go down and So you need more than that.
9's not enough. Yeah. You need a critical mass of people.
Start with one starship. It's 100. Bang. You got one starship up there, 100 people. So he was talking about the logistics of space travel, though.
Yeah.
Because he said it's very difficult. Getting into space is really easy. Getting into orbit is, he says, 100 times harder or something. So getting into space is easy.
Yes, okay,
getting into orbit is way harder.
Yes.
Which we all know. And he said that to make rockets that are not reusable is crazy. It's like, he put it, he made an analogy of, it's like flying a plane to your destination and then jumping out when you get there, parachuting down, and then the plane fucking explodes in the ocean or whatever. And you go, we got there. We got there.
That is such a good way of putting it.
We got there, though.
Because it seems so ridiculous when he puts it like that, right?
Well, that's because they had to perfect air travel, and it took a long time from where the Wright brothers started. And you could say a long time. You could also say a very short fucking amount of time. But from the Wright brothers to, hey, we're just doing this because we're professionals, don't do this at home. Hey, we're the Wright brothers. Welcome to Jackass. We've come a long way from there, right?
Yeah.
And so air travel, they say, is safer than traveling in your car.
It is statistically. It's far safer.
Statistically. So once space travel's there and they're reusing the rockets, then they're actually at the same point that air travel's at, which is they come down, we refuel them, we send them back up again.
Yeah.
Which is what they want to do. One a day. It's crazy. Crazy.
It is one a day. It's insane to think about. Okay, so he makes it sound all very achievable. I'm not saying he's not going to achieve his dream of colonizing Mars and having one a day. But at the same time, just this week, NASA has said, I was reading an article about sending astronauts to Mars by 2040 is, in their using their words, an audacious goal.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And they're not saying it's not possible.
If we're 7 years from the moon, fuck, man, we're miles away from Mars.
Exactly. I've got the article here. I'm just going to go through it a little bit because I think it sort of elaborates on some of these themes. So they're saying astronauts may orbit Mars by 2033, but setting foot on the red planet by the end of next decade would be an aggressive and audacious goal, according to NASA officials.
Yeah.
Elon probably went into this, but to make the 6-month flight to Mars and land by 2040, well, you have to leave by 2039, obviously. That's not really that exciting. But 16 years we've got. Okay, we've got 16 years to leave, and that sounds like a lot. This is the point they make, but it's a very short time to develop the technologies that we need to develop.
Yep. Fair enough.
You'd need a permanent human presence on the moon. So that's what we're working on at the moment. Well, not tick.
Well, we're ticking it. We're in the process of ticking that box.
We haven't even set foot on the moon.
We have a program which goal is exactly that. So at least we are working towards a presence on the moon, much like we have a presence on the ISS.
Yes, and I'm not trying to poo-poo any of this, but no. We need the Starship.
Shit on it.
And it's only had one launch and it didn't make orbit and detonated.
But they kind of knew that it was going to do that. So
they did,
really
but I'm just saying this is how far we are.
Yeah,
we haven't even got off. We haven't even got a vehicle off of Earth that is capable of making the journey and taking all the infrastructure up that we need.
I agree with you, and I don't want to shit on it either, but if you look at what's been built there, it's not for nothing. You know, this is a big, big deal.
And we're building that the gateway. That's the gateway is the thing that's going to be orbiting the moon.
Yep.
And so what they're working on is, so I think it's foreseeable that we're going to get the gateway, what do you want to call it, satellite, that is going to be, and I think we're going to have boots on the moon. I think we're going to have the permanent moon base.
Yep.
Which is pretty amazing if we have it. But what they want to do is they want to do an analog type mission where they send astronauts to live in the gateway for 6 months.
Yeah.
And then they spend 30 days on the moon to simulate working on Mars. And then they return to the gateway for another 6 months to mimic the journey back home. So that's what they're planning on doing.
So the end game of the first Mars mission would be to get there, hang out for a bit, pick up some stuff, and then bounce.
I think it has to be. It has to just be to set things up. It's got to be.
But that's a year. That's a year's worth of travel for 30 minutes on the moon, on Mars, or 30 days on Mars for a year. I mean, I get that people would put their hand up for that. They're astronauts.
You might have to do a couple of those to get us going, and then
unless they go, right, we've got a proven moon base, so we can do a Mars base. We're just going to upscale the moon base and make it on Mars. We're not even going. We're sending the robots. The robots are going to go down, start unfolding and doing all the stuff they're building. We got this one. He's just left his patient or at home or something, and he's signed on to do solar panels on the moon. He's want to lay them individually. He's really keen on that. Probably. We could have another technological breakthrough that makes it really easy. We don't know.
We might. But they point out in this article the closest we've got to such missions where we're simulating a Mars mission. Yep. Like, the dream is to do that one where you do 6 months orbiting the moon, 30 days on the moon, 6 months, because you're simulating being in that radiation belt as well, copying all that radiation. So and similar gravity situation as well you've got going on, because at the moment we do the habitat. The closest thing we've got is this habitat in Hawaii called the High Seas habitat, where they pretend to be on Mars, where they've got a 20-minute communication delay with base command or with Earth, shall I say.
That's great.
But they can't replicate, Martian gravity.
Any of the conditions, really.
Really any of them. All they can do is see how humans work in a team alone.
Yeah, and they've done those in the past where they've put people in the trials to just put people in a room with each other for 3 months or whatever and see how it goes. It's not great, is it?
No.
Because
we're making steps. We're making steps in the right direction. That's the main thing.
Yep, I did see a crewed mission went up the other day, because I get all the times when they're live space shipping, when they're going for it, and usually it's at our nighttime because it's their daytime. So I'm watching, and it's one of those ones where you get to see the actual crew, and they're not shitting themselves at all, mate. They're not shitting themselves at all. Nah,
confident.
Nah, they're fine. Another day at the office.
Well, you have to be confident. If you're panicking, they're not going to let you go up.
You wouldn't aspire to be an astronaut if you thought it was unsafe. If you just thought rocket travel in general is just a bad idea. Or if the odds of it turns out only 1% of rockets make it off the deck. If that was the odds, then you wouldn't really want to be an astronaut.
Well, we're making steps in the right direction, but have you heard about the lawsuit that environmental groups have brought against the Federal Aviation Administration in the US?
No, I haven't heard about that.
So
are they in violation of environmental laws?
Well, environmentalists, right? I mean, where do you start?
What do you mean? You care about the environment?
I'm joking.
But you do, right? Obviously.
100%. They're saying that the FAA...
Do you have some prejudices? Do you go but for space travel, a bit of
pollution? Definitely. I think at some point you got to let it... This is almost bigger than... we're talking about... I don't know the data. I've got no idea what I'm talking about.
That's the thing, man. If we knew the numbers, and if the numbers were shocking, if they said 99% of the breathable air in the next 10 years will be gone if you keep doing that, then obviously we'd be like, whoa, slow down, fellas, whatever it is.
I reckon they need to be given a bit of slack, because obviously they're doing things that aren't good for the environment, but it's also in the interest of perhaps something greater.
Yeah, or
we don't want to ruin our environment.
Yeah, but just to play devil's advocate, those environmentalists could be like, "Who gives a fuck about space?" They could just say that. They could be like, "Who gives a shit?"
Yeah, they could.
We shouldn't even be out there. We got homeless people and starving people here. What are you doing? It's true, and they're right
in some respects. Yeah,
I would say that
when
Elon's.
This
is. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Yeah,
but Elon could. Green up the other side of his business a bit, so that.
I think they do what they can in the circumstances of launching a rocket. Yeah. It's not going to be green. It's not going to be. It's not going to they address as much as they can, but they say that FAA didn't properly assess the damage that SpaceX's Starship rocket would cause to the environmentally sensitive land surrounding the South Texas launch site.
Right, because they just blew it up, and presumably it would have fell to some bits would have fell back to the Earth.
Something like that. I don't know how much damage was done. There was a lot of dust and things kicked up. I mean, it was a huge cloud of dust. Like you saw that.
Yep. The route that it takes across, it leaves America, it goes over the ocean, it crosses over Africa, it dodges all of the countries between. It even goes between Indonesia and Australia. So it zips around so that if it fell apart mid-air, there's certain places where they'd be like, all right, that's a problem. But you would have thought that they would have spent a lot of time on those first bits because that's when it's likely to go pear-shaped before you hit max Q, all those moments. That's when you're thinking, oh, this could go bad. They would have done all the data on where it's going to land when it exploded. They would have known all that shit. They would have had a plan in place to go and collect it all. Like surely. I mean, I'm just
it can't be good. It can't be good.
Yeah.
But I mean, considering what they're trying to do, I mean, there's commercial interests for sure.
Sure.
That conflict with the environmental.
Well, no, we're not talking about the environmentalists like having a problem with the spaceship thing, right? Where if the law was broken, that's a different thing altogether. If they're trying to bring attention to a law being broken, then it doesn't matter if you're saving the human race or doing this. The law is blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, I assume that there must be some environmental laws at the end of it. So they say here that the environmentalists say that surrounding area provides important habitat for imperiled wildlife. I don't know what that is, including piping plovers. What the fuck is a piping plover?
Well, they're probably very important, and because you've never heard of them, they're even more important.
Northern aplomidado falcons.
Mm-hmm.
Gulf Coast, jaguarandi. What are these?
Let me try and take your brain to this spot.
Yeah.
Let's say we get a test. Let's say we get a launch site in Adelaide. So now we're launching starships from Adelaide, okay, or whatever, wherever we are.
Woomera.
It does. Yeah. And we're launching the spaceships, and we've got the path set so that it crosses the least amount of land, but it's still going to go over a bit of land when it's going up and when it's going across, right?
Yeah.
So they do the map. They go, here's the area where things could fall apart, right? And the environmentalists would say, and rightly so, they'd be like, hang on a sec, that's a koala habitat right there. You know, you're going straight over a koala habitat, and that's what they got to do, right?
Yeah.
They're trying to represent the koala. The koala doesn't give a shit about Mars, right? And rightly so. He don't give a fuck. He just wants a gum leaf.
Yeah, and there might be some casualties.
Yeah, almost certainly.
I hope not. Hey, I sent you what these animals are in the pictures chat. What's a Gulf Coast jaguarandi? Jaguar. It's like a jaguar undi. A jaguar undi.
You just copied me a bunch of text.
Yeah.
That's just text.
Yeah, text just for you to have a look at the names of the animals.
Okay, piping plovers.
I know what an ocelot is. Oh, I thought I knew what one was.
Yeah, they're like big cats.
Yeah, no, I was thinking of something with... I was thinking of an amphibious, like, reptile.
Nah, ocelots are big cats. They look like cheetahs. They actually look like cheetahs. Yeah.
They do. I love the sound of a piping plover. I mean, that thing's a bird. It could just fly away.
No, but it's not about flying away.
I'm joking. No, but
it's about taking out his food source. It's about making his habitat all fucked up.
Yeah,
you wrecked. This big starship lands on his nest, and he's like, "Fuck, just finish that." Look,
it's about balancing interests, I think.
Look at these piping plovers, dude. Are you see these things? Are you looking at these things?
Yeah,
they're fucking adorable.
Yeah,
they're adorable.
Yeah. Looks like a penguin.
You don't want to see any harm come to these guys.
Certainly not.
No.
Oh, but these northern Plumdo falcons, they can get fucked. Yeah, I'm not about them.
So you had me.
Well, they're a predatory bird as well.
And then you lost me. They had me. I was on side. I was ready to. I can flip the whole script on Elon, but nah. Fuck those. What are they? Falcons.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck 'em.
Yeah, but I mean, the most powerful rocket ever built is gonna cause a ruckus, right? All I'm saying, if it doesn't cause a ruckus, the engineers need to take a goddamn hard look at themselves.
Mm.
This thing had better be a ruckus.
What do you mean a ruckus? I mean, in
It
an ideal
better feel
world,
like an earthquake. I mean, this thing.
Well, we've seen what it does when it takes off. It's pretty impressive. It's the biggest thing I've ever seen take off.
Yeah.
It's the biggest thing we've ever taken off. It's a lot bigger than you think it is. This thing's
It is, isn't it?
crazy massive. And they're going to pop people on it. So just to give you an idea, again, we've talked about it a lot, but the diameter of Starship is something like 30 meters across. That's space. That's space for people and stuff. And that's what they're going to do with it. They're going to pop people and stuff in it, launch it up at the moon elsewhere.
I don't think it's 30 meters across.
I think it is.
Now that seems absurd. I could be wrong. That maybe Starship 2.0. Starship 1.0.
Maybe Starship 2.0.
I think that's what they're going for in the end, because Starship 1.0 is 120 meters high.
Oh, right. I'm talking about the 300-meter one. What's that?
I think that is later versions of Starship.
This is like the most lowest res image I've ever seen in my whole life.
So Starship 2.0, I think we've gone over the dimensions before, but that's going to be 8 times bigger. It's going to be 240 meters tall.
That's the one.
And twice as wide. I still don't know if we'll get to 30 meters
18
wide.
meter is the current Starship, or is that the second one?
That's the second one.
I think the
That's
second one is
one,
18.
yeah.
18.
So this one's probably about 9, I'm going to guess, just being half
9.
of that. Because the biggest one we previously had, the one that the James Webb Space Telescope went up in, was the maximum diameter they could get was 5 meters. So that's why they had to fold this thing up. It's as big as a tennis court, but they had to fold it up like origami into this thing.
Yeah. And they had to unfurl it. So they they could just launch it up now. But maybe there was a bit involved in that. Maybe it was for a reason. But I'm not getting on.
Oh, you will. You will. When we've destroyed this Earth because there aren't enough environmentalists speaking up, you want to get on that rocket.
That's where it's full circle, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, commercial flights are about to start happening. Like we are on the precipice of commercial flights.
We've already done that.
No, we've done.
That's
yeah,
happening.
but we're talking about regular flights. So Virgin Galactic, I think I said that they were doing their last test flight last week.
Mm.
That's been successful, and I understand that they're looking at, just looking at this article now, they're looking at going up from June or July. I think they're putting up one a month. Yeah, they aim to fly once a month.
Once a month is once a month. Once a day. That's
once a month becomes once a week within a year if there's demand.
Once a day, that'll be.
Once a week becomes once a day in a half a year.
Yeah. And how much dollary does it set you back?
$450,000 US.
Is that all? And how high do you go?
You only get to 87 kilometers. You don't even get to the Kármán line.
Though. That's pretty good, though.
Yeah, but arguably you haven't been in outer space.
Not in outer space, but you've been in space.
You've been in space. Well, no,
100%.
they say the arbitrary line for space is 100 kilometers. That's what they say. That's where the boundary of airspace and
I thought
outer
space was anywhere from a certain, and it's pretty low.
Well, there's a big argument.
To 100.
There's a big argument about where space begins and where it doesn't, but the commonly accepted one, and that's adopted by the US, Australia, some of the international law treaties, is 100 kilometers.
100 kilometers in the sky. And when you think about it, if you look up at the sky and you think of 100 kilometers away, it doesn't seem that far, does it? Seems like we're pretty close to space, if you ask me.
The atmosphere is pretty thin.
It's pretty close.
It's pretty
Ks
thin.
is not that far. You can run 100 Ks.
I've run 80.
So you can run to space.
To outer space. I could run to outer space. You're right. I could if I wanted.
That's insanity.
But my 80 kilometres of running only had 1,500 metres of elevation.
Yeah, so this would have 100 kilometres of elevation.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough.
Yeah.
So imagine climbing a ladder
for
100 kilometres.
That's what we're looking at here.
Yeah, you'd be pretty tired.
But that's not a bad way to get to space. You know, that's the old space elevator thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
They start with a space ladder, and then don't worry, the elevator will be here next year. You won't be doing this very long with the ladder. Just keep going. The elevator's coming.
Well, the best one is you put something up like in orbit, but you need it orbiting at the same speed relative to the surface of the Earth. So you just have a cable joining the satellite, like a cable basically joining the satellite and the Earth. So it's spinning around, and the cable's holding it.
Yeah, like Titanic with Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet.
How so?
Well, they're interlocked, their hands, and then they're spinning in a circle together.
Oh, they're spinning in a circle, are they?
Yes.
Yes, no, exactly like that.
Yeah, that's gravity.
You just send something up the rope, right?
Yeah, send it up the rope.
Simple
Space
as
elevator, and yeah, you can have it where it's got engines on it to keep that speed. If it needs to adjust slightly, you can fire off a little bit. But yeah, you just hold it on a string. I don't think we could build that high. I think it's got structural problems at that point.
I think it needs to be going a lot faster than the speed.
I think the
International Space Station does a whole bunch of revolutions a day.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. It's zipping. It's absolutely
zippy.
flying.
Zippy.
The Burj Khalifa, isn't that nearly a kilometre tall?
Pretty close, I think.
Yeah, so you need 100 of them to get to space. That puts it into perspective a bit more.
Yeah, okay.
That seems a lot higher now.
Yeah.
That's why we use rockets, not planes. Oh my god!
Okay.
Just think of while we're on it, how much that 65 years of rocketry with the aim of going to space. 70 plus years of us shooting rockets into space, doing the whole plane thing where you jump out at the other side and it explodes. We've been doing that a long time. That disposable nature of it. And
we have, haven't we? We've really struggled to get the rockets
reusable.
Yeah, back down to the ground safely.
And that's something the environmentalists have every right to be upset about, because they didn't try really. They just kept doing it. Blow them up. That's how rockets work. They blow up. Now Elon's come along and gone, no, they self-land now, and we refuel them and we use them again. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's cool shit.
Did we not have the technology? I like to think that we just didn't have the tech. To do
possibly.
It.
I mean, what do you think? Yeah. What do you think is the tech? What do you think is the tech? It's a computer. It's individual engines on the bottom that guide it and steer it, and there's aerodynamics, right?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think they just decided it was too hard. And they were going, this is the way we did it. We can get away with it.
I think they thought they could just keep doing that. And people would have been making money along the way with these disposable rockets. So don't worry about that.
Oh yeah. Man, people don't really raise, the environmentalists worry about terrestrial things. There is so much space junk floating around our planet.
Oh, we know.
Crazy amounts.
A lot of people have seen that animation where it shows how many satellites we've got, and it's almost, and people have described it this way in the past, as like us shutting ourselves in, like creating a dome of shit in the sky so dense that we can no longer leave. We've built a prison planet.
It's called the Kessler effect. When you have one collision, you create 100,000 fragments, which then will cause other collisions, and on and on and on. So there's been two major collisions in our orbit that I'm aware of. There was an anti-satellite test that China or Russia did recently, actually, that one, which they did in pretty high, so when things are in low Earth orbit, they eventually are going to they're eventually going to come back. But if they're, for every, say something's in relatively close to Earth, it might come back in a year, 2 years, something like that. But as you get a bit more out, things are going to stay there for a while. We're talking decades.
Yeah. Yep.
And like sometimes the International Space Station has to move because of the debris fields that have been created by some of these collisions. Jesus. So I think there was two, and one of them was an intentional one. The other one was a defunct Russian satellite smashed into an operational US satellite that decided not to move its trajectory. They detected that there was a 1 in 100 possibility of a collision, and they only had so much fuel on this thing. So they thought, we're just going to
just roll the dice.
We're rolling the dice on this, and created a debris field now that is a real problem for things in that orbit. So you actually have to try and avoid certain areas of space.
Some shitty orbits.
That's another one of my, in our lifetime.
They don't show you that in Star Wars, like where it shows like the history of them trying to get to space. Written in the planet itself, in the outer parts of the planet, there's just shit everywhere because you have to try a bunch of stuff before you can do that. Unless someone walked in on day one of the NASA program and said, "Hey guys, we need to priority one be able to reuse these rockets and be able to fuel them up and send them up again." That's the most important thing. We can't blow up. We can't throw the plane every time we get to our destination. That's crazy. Now we've got the debris field. But that's just because of satellites, man. We're just launching so much into space, right? We're just launching so much shit up.
So much, yeah. And because there's no protocols there weren't any, no agreed practice in terms of what you can do in outer space, in those orbital areas. People just chuck things off willy-nilly, boosters, whatever.
Yeah. It's a bit of the Wild West out there.
Sue me.
They need to do this. They need to keep throwing stuff up there because, I don't use my GPS much, but if I was to log on and it's like, sorry, it's not working, I'd be like, fucking shit. Like, what is this shit? What is this shit? Like, something could have catastrophically happened in the outer space, but I'm just worried about how to get to Nando's or whatever the fuck I'm doing.
I think about that sometimes when I lose internet. I'm just like, man, has World War III started? Like, are they taking down like telecommunications infrastructure?
It's got to be your first thought, isn't it? When the internet goes down, like even in your house, just the internet turns off. You go, that's weird. Maybe it's the end of the world. Well, I don't know. Maybe this is it. I don't know.
I took the Alphaflys for a run. I did the 3K time trial without them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I did 11 and a half minutes.
Yeah.
Did another 3Ks. Mm-hmm. Gave my all both times, so you'd think that there's pretty comparable runs. Did a 10:55.
Right, and that's almost a whole minute off, isn't it?
Well, 35 seconds.
Well, that's almost a whole minute, isn't it, if you round up?
Yeah, 35 seconds over, let's say 12 kilometers. So that's like... Yeah, over 5%.
What did they guarantee you on the ticket?
4%.
4%.
So it's exceeding my expectations.
Jesus, that's data now. That's data.
Yeah,
that's 5%.
It's funny. I spent $370 just to run something 35 seconds faster that no one cares about at all.
No, time is money, and now you own more time because. Over the course of your life, that 5% will turn into hours, man.
Wow.
Hours.
I should be wearing these everywhere.
You got to wear them to work.
I ran home from work in the rain on, I think it was Tuesday last week. No, not with the Alphaflys. It's my old shoes.
You don't want to get them wet?
No, not on the long runs. They're only for speed. I have to be going for PBs, basically.
And game day and whatnot.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But it was dark and cold, and it wasn't long before I was sopping wet. Started getting a bit paranoid as well. Sorry, the wife just got home. Started getting real paranoid because when you're running home in the rain, this is 14K, so it takes me about an hour and 15 minutes. Like, the only people you see are the creeps, the psychopaths. People are out there, like maybe an axe murderer. People on the street when it's raining.
Oh, right. Yeah. They're up to no good, are they?
Yeah, I reckon. They can't be
What are you doing out here?
Yeah. I mean, I saw a woman with a baked good and I was like, where are you taking this arsenic apple pie? I'm worried about her. Like, what is she doing out there with it? She's like carrying it, like a...
We'll got to get to the bottom of that.
I started to worry about what it says about me.
Yeah.
Am I one of those weirdos?
You didn't immediately think that? You're out there. You're doing it.
Yeah. I think they turned their head, snapped around when they could hear footsteps behind them.
Yeah, because they're not expecting anybody to be out in their domain, the rain. It's a place to be alone out there. It's a place to.
I was really enjoying it. To begin with, I wasn't so fond of it, but then your body just slots into the groove.
Yeah, and you just enjoy it, I guess. You sort of. Yeah, I
you
can
just
see
accept the wetness. You drop in the zone.
Yep. You know it's going to be that way for a while. You know you're going to feel that. Yeah, that's fair.
Endorphins start kicking.
Oh yeah, are they good?
Oh, they're great. The body starts responding.
Yeah. What's the longest period of time you've gone without a run?
Oh, like 2 weeks or something.
2 weeks.
Yeah, man. It's like I start getting in the zone with the breathe in my nose for 3 steps, then out my mouth for 4 steps. So sorry, breathe in 4 steps. When I start getting more tired, I go 3 and 3. But so it's quite a long inhale if you and you just start getting like you start thinking really clearly. But you also feel it's kind of dreamy, like time's going faster, there's something going on, a bit of time dilation.
Maybe it's just protection from the trauma.
Maybe. Well, the endorphins, yes, in some ways, maybe.
Well, it's got to spur you on, man. If you're like running after a kill and it's 10 kilometers away and you got to keep going, your body needs to be like, hey, man, you got to do it. It feels good, doesn't it? Nothing like a hard day's work, buddy. You get a big cold beer at the end.
You get a warm shower. It's amazing how powerful the brain is, though. Like the chemicals, all that going on. I have those realizations in moments like that. When you're just chugging. It's quite a liberating feeling as well. I think it's also because there's few people out there, and they are all the weirdos and the psychopaths.
Right, you get to have a bit of a walk on the wild side.
Yeah, and like very few people are doing it as well. Whereas if you go for a run on a nice sunny day, everyone's out there. You're saying good day. Everyone's having. Whereas I'm out there just with
slugging it out with the
dregs of society. Yeah, the people that can't afford a car, people getting off the bus.
Yeah, rough trots.
And I did a Vedic meditation course on the weekend, but we'll talk about that next week.
There you go. We will talk about it next week. Thanks for dropping by. Flick us an email, vacuousperspective@mail.com. We'll be here next week as well because we did it this week. We'll do it again next week.
Every week for a new year.
Yeah, 53.
Baby, bring it on.
We'll see you next time.
Yeah.